everything right, it was you and me.
Hello everyone, my name is Nayeema and welcome back to my channel. And today we are doing enemies to lovers romance recommendations. I decided today to go back to the basics and talk about some enemies to lovers. I feel like this was the OG trope that everybody loved. People still love it. I still personally love it. I just don't really talk about it as much with all of the many tropes in the romance book world. So that's what we're doing today. I'm very excited. I read a lot of these recently and a lot of these are books that I really love. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy, and without further ado, let's get right into today's video. Okay, so the first book that I'm recommending for enemies to lovers is Act Your Age, Eve Brown by 𝓫𝓸𝓬𝓪. This is the third book in the Brown Sisters trilogy. You do not have to read the other books to read this one. This is my favorite in the entire series. It's just so cute and wholesome and hilarious. It follows Eve Brown, and we've seen her in the other two books. She is kind of known to be the not grounded sister, the not steady sister. She does what she wants when she wants, and she's just kind of living in la la land a little bit. I believe she just ruined another job that she got, and her parents are pissed at her. They're done with her. They're like, listen, you need to act your age, get a life, move out, and then when you do all these things, you can get access to your trust fund. She knows this about herself. She knows she can't keep a job, but it's just really hard for her. And so one day she is driving in her car and she sees a sign for help wanted bed and breakfast for a cook. So she walks in as is to get interviewed. Her outfit is not proper, like interview attire. She doesn't have her CV, she doesn't have her resume. It's just like a mess. And she interviews. And the guy interviewing is the hero, Jacob, and he actually owns the bed and breakfast. And he's like, oh no, who is this coming in looking the way she does? No resume, like this is clearly a joke. But the thing is, he really needs a cook for his bed and breakfast. They are in a time pinch. He ultimately gives her the job after some things occur, things happen. Eve can tell that Jacob doesn't like her. Jacob genuinely does not like her. Great, it is so good. Like the smut in here is amazing. I've always said this, like, you would not expect this to have amazing smut, but it does. It is fire. He really doesn't like her. When they decide to give each other a chance and listen to each other, find out what's in each other's hearts, it's amazing and it's so good, but they do not get off on the right foot at all. Next up, we have Twisted Hate by Anna Huang. This is also a third book in the series, and it's the only one that I genuinely enjoy and loved. So there are two other books. You don't have to read them in order to read Twisted Hate, and I love this one because it is enemies with benefits and it's so good. So follows our heroine. Our heroine is best friends with the hero's sister. One day, years and years ago, she overheard the hero and her best friend talking about her, and the hero was basically like warning his sister away from her, like, listen, she's bad news, don't be friends with her, like, I don't trust her, you make bad decisions when you're around her. And ever since the heroine heard this conversation take place, she has not liked her best friend's brother at all. And that in return made him not like her either, because she's really snarky and fiery towards him. So they end up working at one of the same places. She is volunteering at this one hospital, and he also has like a little part-time job there. And so they are constantly in each other's presence. Obviously her best friend is his little sister. They're just always around each other. Tensions arise because they're both attracted to one another, and they decide to sneak around and fool around. They genuinely do not like each other when they are hooking up, but it's so cute to see like their relationship start. There's some crazy plot twist drama that happens in this book. I was shocked, and there's a little bit of a suspense element as well, and it kept me on my toes. I genuinely enjoyed this book. I thought the smut was amazing, and I've never read like an enemies with benefits, at least not in indie publishing or traditionally publishing. I've read it like on Wattpad and stuff, but this is the first like enemies with benefits. Like, they do not like each other, but they're hooking up, that I've read. So I really enjoyed it, and I think it's a great enemies to lovers romance book. The next book that I have is The Words. This is a book that I've read recently, and it's pretty good. It's a rock star romance, toxic romance, which you guys know we love over here. Toxic, not rock star. But this book was really good. It basically follows this girl named Lennon. It has two timelines. It starts off when they're in high school, and then years later when they're out of high school. So we have Lennon, and Lennon is kind of like the bright brunt of the joke at her high school. Everybody hates her, everybody makes fun of her. She actually gets really badly bullied because she is plus size, but she's incredibly smart, and her dad is a top tier like producer for music. We have our hero who is in a band. He's currently failing a few classes, and so their teacher goes to Lennon, the heroine, and is like, hey, will you tutor him a few times a week after school? She kind of has always had this like small infatuation with him. She's like, okay, he's really cute, but like I know we don't stand a chance at all. And so she agrees, and from there kind of a friendship starts. He is taking advantage of her because he knows quite literally that she will do anything for him, not for anything bad. She does take advantage of her and her kindness. And one night something happens their senior year that is really awful and can never be taken back. I was literally so pissed while reading it, and they have not spoken ever since their senior year. Fast forward years later, his band is now really famous and popular. They're touring. The hero is struggling. He's struggling with drugs and alcohol, and he kind of needs like a sober companion, a sober watch person with him on tour. His manager actually reaches out to the heroine. Hey, will you do this? Like, he really needs someone. We will pay you tons of money, but we need you to come on tour with us and watch over him. And she decides she's gonna do it, get a little bit of revenge for everything that he did, make him jealous, just like have some fun on this tour bus while also getting paid hella for this job. That is this book. It's really, really good, really, really hot and steamy, very toxic, which love. And yeah, I really enjoyed this book, and I feel like a lot of you guys would too. The only thing about this book is that it is so incredibly long, and it irked me. If you are in the mood to just be sucked into a really long book, this is the one for you. If you want something a little bit shorter, probably not this one, but it is good all the same. The next one that I have to recommend is a book that I read pretty recently, and that is Falls Boys by Penelope Douglas. This is really good. This is a spin-off series from her Fall Away series. It follows like the children of the couples in that first series, and so this one is actually Good Boy, Bad Girl, which I don't read much of, so I was really excited about that aspect in this book. And it basically takes place in this small town. There's the good side of town, there's the bad side of town. Yes, the good boys from the good side, the bad girls from the bad side. Our heroine has never really had a stable home. She's bounced around from foster home to foster home a ton in her life. And now she's currently working for like this gang, I would describe it as. There's like a dirty cops involved. There is, they basically go and collect payments for protection, and that's her job. She goes around to businesses around town and collects money for their protection. Maybe, I don't really know why she collects the money, but she does. And she has been making a lot of mistakes recently, so her boss has told her, you know, you're 18 now, like you could do another job if you don't want to do this anymore. There's other ways you can make money. And she's like, ew, no. So she's determined to do things right. She does not want to get hop into prostitution. She just wants to make money safely and easily. So since she's been making these mistakes, her boss told her in the beginning of the book, listen, you need to come back with all the money from the businesses. If you don't, there will be issues. So she goes and collects all the money from the different businesses, and a dirty cop basically pulls up on her and takes all of the money that she collected. She's now freaking out because she needs to bring back all of the money. She decides to venture off into the good side of town and start collecting money from high school students that owe her. There she sees the hero's cousin, and she's like, okay, you owe me money. And then the girl is like, no, I don't. Like, what you gave me was crap. And so they start to fight, and the hero is there, and he like pulls them apart, and they do not like each other. He does not respect what she does. She thinks he's a really golden boy, goody two shoes. She just doesn't really like him. It sucks because now they are on a little bit of a adventure together. Like, they're on a roller coaster. They have to work together. They have to hide together because craziness just ensues. It was like a wild ride, and I highly recommend this book. There are secrets being kept. They have to protect themselves from like the dirty cops in town. They have to hide away because they'll be arrested, and it's just bad. And they have to work together because the events of this one day transpired like created a whole chain reaction of just bad things and bad things and bad things. But it's so good. This book sucked me in so much, and it's a great enemies to lovers romance book because they really did not like each other at all in the beginning of this book. And the last book that I'm going to recommend is Mafia Mistress by Mila Finelli, and this book is an amazing mafia romance. It was just so good. So this book follows our heroine Francesca. She is a senior. She just graduated from high school, and she is super excited to move on to college and live her life, and she has a boyfriend. But that all changes one day when her father calls her down and says, we have a meeting with someone. She finds out that she has to be taken to Italy to marry a guy's son. She meets the man, and she is instantly attracted to the father of her new fiance. She's instantly attracted to the father, but she's also incredibly pissed because she was not expecting to be taken away to Italy. She had plans. She was going to go to Columbia. She was going to go to college and school and make a name for herself and just live life the way she wanted to live it. But her father has made some mistakes working with this big mafia, and now she is the debt. So she tries to run away. It doesn't work. The guy takes her to Italy. She meets her new fiance, and he's really nice and sweet and kind, but she just has her mindset on going home. That attraction towards his father has not left yet. They both feel like a pull to one another. They're both incredibly attracted to each other, and he basically decides he wants her for himself. He decides, like, listen, I'm gonna get you a new fiance, but like, she's mine. And it's so good, but she cannot stand him. She's pissed at him for taking her out of her home. She's pissed at him for making her stay here against her will. She's pissed at him. Like, she genuinely does not like him. And obviously she's American, and so she's not used to all these Italian customs and old school ways. These are very old school Italians, and she feels like she should be able to do what she wants when she wants it. He took her phone away. He's not letting her leave except for with her fiance, and it is great. It is great because the attraction really went out here, and it's so good when he decides, like, oh, she's mine now. I don't want her with my son. Oh my gosh, so good. It's an age gap romance. It's amazing, and I highly recommend this one if you like enemies to lovers. This is a great book. So that was the last book that I am going to recommend to you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a big like and a comment down below, and also subscribe so you never miss another upload from me, and I will see you very shortly in a new video. Bye.
If I got one thing right, it was you and me.